Snap back to reality like I never left, y'all. All right, let's do. I only got a few. I'm only gonna do one page of examples. Stay tuned and give you guys some time to work. Sound good? So now, if our period, what happens if b is greater than 1? If like we have cosine of 3x, what's going to happen to our graph? It's a compression, right? If b is greater than 1, it's a horizontal compression. And why is that true? I know we've talked about it a lot, but we're doing it again. Because my period is 2 pi over b, right? So if I'm dividing by b, I'm compressing it because it's always opposite what's in the parentheses. So what happens if b is between 0 and 1? So like I have cosine of 1/2 x. It's going to be a stretch. Yeah, but let's be more specific now. Horizontal stretch. Because again, we're doing the opposite. We're actually multiplying by the reciprocal, right? It's 2 pi over b. So is that new? No, but I'm just putting this all in the terms. And I think I said in the video, honestly, if y'all know, like this page right here is a tremendous like thing to review. You know what I mean? It has everything on it. All right. So let's take a look at what's it mean in my original graph if c is less than 0. So c is negative. If c is negative, the phase shift, am I going right or left? Right. And we've done this before, right? And if it's greater than 0, it would be left. Nothing really new here. Okay? Sound good? All right. Let's get to it then. Let's do 3 examples and call it a day. What is this thing? Ugh. All right. So remember, if I add or subtract, I change my midline. Again, this is not new, but it's nice to see it over and over again. This quiz should be straight cash, homie, as my friend Randy Moss once said. How's that for an old reference? All right. Is that +1 in my parentheses? No. So is it going to shift it left or right or up or down? Up. Up how many? 1. So where's my new midline going to be? Y = 1, right? So now when I go to graph this, I'm trying to get quicker at graphing it. I know my midline. My period is 2 pi. It's sine, so I start at 0. But now my 0, 0 is actually at 1, 0. And what do I do? Here will be another 0, right? And this will be another 0. Right? And then do I go up first or down first? Up, right? Up how many? What's my ant? 1. So I'm going to go up 1, 0, down 1. This is what we're trying to get to. We're trying to get to being able to graph these quickly, right? Or use intuition to graph them. So here I start with the midline, my point. Could you have done the 5-point method? Of course you can. What's going to happen with this one? Down 2. So my midline is going to be y = -2. Now with cosine, do I start on the 0? Start at the max. So my amplitude is 1. So I'm going to start at 1, right? I'm going to end at my period at 1, right? So I'm going to go there, 0, min, 0. Right? I don't know, I know I did those really quick. I'm actually probably going to do some of these examples too. That is example 3, example 4. Math is tough. Eep. I think I am going to go a little bit further today. Give you guys more time to work tomorrow. Sound good? Because I did not realize how short these examples were. Oh, no, I digress. I know what I'm doing. All right. Let's do this example. Another summary. Oh, man. All right. This is it. How do I do this? Okay, that'll work, right? We can see that. I can't write on that, though. Whatever. All right. If I can recognize that, I know everything there is to know about graphing sine and cosine. This right here gives me every piece of information I need, right? It's as easy as A, B, C. All right. What's my amplitude? A. What's A going to do? What's its definition? Is it how tall the entire function is? It's half as tall. I like that. It's half the height of one wave, right? What else is it? It's half the height of one wave. That is actually exactly what I had. Distance from the midline. I like that actually too. I like that. There's one more thing. Go back to unit 1. What would we call it? Yeah. Yep, it's a vertical. I am going to use dilation for this one because I don't know if it's a stretch or a compression. It depends on if it's big or little. So that gives us 3 pieces of information. It tells us, well, we know the total height. We just double it. We know the distance from the midline of our max and our min. And we know it's vertical dilation. All these are interchangeable, right? Now, what's your period? That's 2 pi over b, right? What's that actually telling us? Bingo. Length of one cycle, aka one wave. How long is one wave? Right? Oh, I shouldn't cycle. That looks like a proportion or wave. So that gives us our length. What's C give us? Phase shift. That tells us our horizontal shift. What else does it tell us? When we use the 5-point method, what does it give us? The first point. The key point, right? The first key point. Whatever C is where we're going to start our graph, right? If C was 2 pi over 3, that means I'm going, if it's positive, I'd go left and start my graph there, right? It tells us where to start our max or our intercept, right? So it also tells us first key point and the 5-point. Right? And what's D going to give us? Midline? That's going to tell us. Actually, I'm going to do this. Y equals D is going to be our midline, right? So when we graph it, that's our midline. What else does it tell me? Vertical shift. Again, that's the quiz right there. You know what I mean? Like that's everything there is. All right, guys, I lied. I'm going to go ahead a little bit to give us more. How does he sleep?
He stands up.
Okay, you goofy gusset. Get out of here. You must know his wife because you a clown. Whoa. Y'all don't know the context. There is context that's not mattering. Okay, get out. All right, let's take a look at this beast. So, how do we find the interval for a first cycle? AK, how do I find my starting point, my end point of a graph? Like if I just want, you know how I went? I just showed you guys how I did it, right? When we graphed it, I said, here's where I'm starting. My period is whatever. Here's where I end. And then I filled in between, right? So that's what this lesson's going to be about. Again, it's more review. So how do I know where my period starts? Where do I know the starting point of a graph? What letter did I use? C. C will tell me where to start. How do I know when it's going to end? It's going to be C plus 2 pi over B, right? Whatever that is will be my end point. And then I can... Do you guys kind of see what I did? I took my start and my end, and I cut in half, and then I cut those in half, right? Okay. Method number 2 I could do is, where do I start? My C value. Why would they even teach it this way? All right, and then we do our endpoint is 2 pi over B. I'll show you. I don't do it this way. I always do it this way. Like a broken cash register. Let's do example 7 and then we'll call it a day. All right, look at this. Look at this. All right, what's my amplitude of this? So let's take it piece by piece. What's my period of this? Yeah, it's 2 pi over 2, right? Which is pi. And what's my phase shift? 3 pi over 2 left. Guys, look at this. If you can graph that, I've never graphed anything more difficult than that in college. Like that's as hard as they get for graphing. You know what I mean? It does. No, like I had to take a class through WGU. They made me retake Pre-Calc, and part of it was graphing, and that was like the function I had to graph as like a final exam for that unit. That's the college I got my second master's from. Solid brag. All right. Utah. All right. It's in the computer. So, why would I do this? Where are we going to start? Where do we start? Negative 3 pi over 2. It's cosine, so I start at max, right? So negative 3 pi over 2 and go up 2. Y'all agree? Now, where's the end of my cycle going to be? What's negative 3 pi over 2 plus my period? So I go to negative pi over 2, and what do I end with on cosine? Yeah. Does that make how? Do you guys see how I got those 2 points that quick? Now watch this. What's in the middle on cosine? It's a min, right? So if I cut these in half, where do I end up at? Negative pi, right? So that's a min. Do you see what I did? I took my start and my end, I cut them in half. That's a min because it's cosine. What are these cut in half? What do I have in the middle of these? A 0, an intercept. And an intercept. Do you guys see how I did that? I just start and end, cut in half, cut them in half. Now, if I had a plus 2 on this, I would just move everything up 2, right? Like if I changed my midline, your intercepts are your midline, not necessarily 0. So now they want me to graph this whole graph. I only did 1 cycle. So what do I do once I have 1 is you just repeat it, right? Yeah, you just keep repeating it. So 0. Jiminy Crickets, this is tedious. That's not bad, actually, for me. Do y'all see how I did that? All right, tomorrow I don't have many examples. Oh.
I don't like that look.
No, we're good. I'll do the rest tomorrow. All right, y'all. You should be able to finish all 3.6 at 1. Get that all done. And then have a